Hello everyone. Today we'll be reviewing the Willard Eudora based on the 1959 to 1960 Buick Electra 225. This one being based on the four-door version. Of course, there was a two-door model in real life, a coupe. But with that stuff out of the way, it features great customization. And for those of you that like classic cars, this would be a perfect car for you to get for free this week. You should definitely try it. If you're watching this after this event week, it's still a good car for $1.2 million. Um, but I'll get more into the details later. Anyway, for now, as I probably said earlier, the customization is pretty good. There's really a lot of custom bumper options, exhaust options, stuff that wasn't featured on the real car that people would do, as modifications in real life. And you also have your slight variations of, bumpers here. Since I already owned this car and I didn't feel it was necessary to try to get another one, I'm just gonna, you know, go through the one that I already own, right? Go through the customization and all that stuff. For those of you who haven't seen it. But as you can see, the exhaust options here can be very out there. The last two options really are not that great. They stick out a bit too much. Uh, this wouldn't be good to park next to a curb because of how much they stick out. But it's really up to personal preference. For the grill, now this is where the car really shines a lot. Rockstar really thought it out. The front grill option that looks pretty good, but the one that I chose, that one is closer to the real life Electra. But most of these are based off Cadillac grills and other General Motor sedans from this era. But you do have your different variations here for some of them. For the hood, um, these options are pretty solid. They're pretty good. It all depends on what you're going for. If you want it nice and smooth with vents or without vents, you can do that, of course. Then you have your ripped hood. It adds a little line there in the middle. A little, I don't know what you call it, maybe a crease. Then you have a different variation there with trim. Then the front kind of sticks out a bit like I don't know, like an ornament, somewhat like that. I chose a primary trim molding because that one's pretty close to the real life car. With some of these vehicles, you can really get quite close. So that's what I did here with this car. I want to quickly apologize for not changing the color, the white. The white paint looks super bright. It looks almost reflectant. I don't know why. That's pretty annoying. Like I like this white, and I quickly went in here starting the showcase without changing the color. So I apologize for that. But um, most of these liveries, they're pretty similar, but in different colors. So you're not really missing out on much. So you basically have the red flame, but in another color. Some of these pinstripes in different colors, the ones up top. But you could pretty much get a good idea of how these look like, and they look pretty good. This car didn't come with a Benny's upgrade, unfortunately. Uh, but I don't think this car is really known as being a lowrider. But you do have your pinstripe options here, and then downtown Cabco livery here. If you unlock this, you can use this for taxi work. But I personally don't care much for it, so I'm okay with it being unlocked. For the mirrors, these options are pretty solid. The stock mirrors look pretty good, but I believe that the Chrome Classic mirrors are closer to the real life car, so that's what I'm gonna go for. Well, I mean, I already chose it, so I guess. But for those of you that like aftermarket builds, you really do have a lot to work with. I'm going to change the plate to a 1960s California license plate, which were yellow and black, to make it a bit more accurate. For the colors here, I might come back later for my community posts and make a really nice special color for this. But for now, I'm just going to quickly scroll through the colors and uh, show you how they look on this car. You can even change the interior colors. You can see in there. I made it a nice red. But really, with these classic cars, almost any color can look really nice on it. You really don't have to try that hard with this car. The body lines are just beautiful, and they do most of the speaking for you. I might do a blue or a pinkish purple later, and then I'll show you a reference photo of that in my community post for those of you that are interested. For the roof, you can change it to a secondary color too if you wish. Then you have your usual roof accessories here to really give this car a lot more personality. If that's what you want to do. Then your usual sunshades there. You can get this car very low, almost stance it. I'm really not a fan of that. It looks very weird, so I'm just gonna leave it off. For the trim here, you can add some, stuff there in the bottom. The real life car had that as an option as well, but I prefer to keep it off. For the wheels, these look a bit too small for the car. It almost looks like a lowrider, when they put smaller wheels on it. So I'm not gonna choose any of these, and the stock wheels are identical to the real life car. So, I'm sure many of you can agree with me that those wheels look very good on this car. You can tint the windows, of course, very dark, but I'm not going to do that. I just like the exposed look. But after this, I'm going to give you a closer look of the interior and the engine model and then discuss the performance. Detail and texture quality for the interior and the engine model are decent. There really isn't much to write home about here. It is well done, but where this car really shines the most is the exterior with the grille, the headlights, the taillights, the wheels, the body lines. The interior is acceptable. It is from the peyote, so it is shared from other vehicles. This does seem to be missing some hinges for the door, so it is kind of floating. Uh, but I'm sure plenty of you will pretty much overlook that or probably not even notice. It is nice how the trunk has some hood struts there to keep it open. Some of these cars really don't have those details. So if you're kind of like me and you're really observant, you'll really appreciate those little details. Speed and handling are acceptable. It handles exactly how you'd expect a classic car from this time period to handle. It's not really fast, and the handling is a bit difficult sometimes. You can really feel the heaviness, or how heavy this car is when you steer. But that's really the beauty of this car. It's not meant to be fast or well handling. So when you take the corners, you really have to slow down a lot and be careful. I know there's plenty of players that are very picky and really expect cars to be fast and handle quickly. So if you're that type of player that really prefers something faster, that really has no issue with turns and tight turns and stuff like that, so this car really isn't for you. So maybe you shouldn't get this car or win it. But if you're very open with different experiences and handling, then I recommend this car a lot. I definitely recommend it. I love this car. It just looks very beautiful. The handling is very accurate. I'm sure it's not supposed to be, very fast.
No way!